Yo, what is up guys, Ghost here, and today we have yet another little data mine, a few tidbits of information from Temporeal, and that is actually going to be thermal and night vision scopes. So these were found in the technical playtest build for the game. So for those who don't remember, back before the game released there was of course a beta, and before the beta there was a special technical playtest conducted where only a small handful of players were invited, and in that particular build this is where he found those things. So whether they were experimental and omitted from the game because of balance issues or whatever, who knows. But anyway, I found this quite interesting as these were things that were in previous Battlefield games and for whatever reason never made it into Battlefield 2042. So first we have the TR1 Thermal 1X and the T4 Thermal 3X. And despite the 1X and the 3X there, these were actually non-magnifying thermal sights, and of course if you'll know what a thermal sight does, they negate the effects of visual noise and camouflage. And then we also have the Tritium night sights and the Mars Night Vision 6X, which are night vision scopes. So the last modern Battlefield game, Battlefield 4, had both of these kinds of scopes. We also had thermal vision for vehicles. The thermal vision has always been a point of contention in Battlefield since Battlefield 4 because honestly on vehicles it really was very overpowered. It just allowed you to see where everybody was. There was absolutely no hiding from tanks and helicopters in that game. However, I feel like the thermal and night vision scopes for the weapons were definitely underused, and honestly I would have loved to see more night maps come out of Battlefield 4. You know, way back when we did have some playtests done for a night version of Siege of Shanghai, of Zavod, and those maps just really had a different atmosphere. I had hoped that we were going to be getting some night maps for Battlefield 2042 as well, where you could then make use of thermal and night vision scopes, but I guess that hasn't happened yet. Who knows, maybe we'll be getting these in the future at some point. And then the second thing he quickly found here are smart marker rounds, and the description for these reads as follows. Embedded technology reports enemy impacts. This data is then uploaded to the battle network, notifying allies of hostiles for a limited period. So I'm not really certain what these smart marker rounds were. To me, it basically sounds like when you get spotted on the minimap whenever you fire your weapon. So it says it reports enemy impacts. I assume that means bullet impacts. That data is then, uploaded to the battle network and notifying allies of hostiles for a limited period. That basically sounds that like whenever you fire your weapon, I'm going to be able to see where you are on the minimap, which is essentially how spotting now works on the minimap in Battlefield 2042. Maybe at some point that mechanic was going to be like some sort of an equipable or something that a specialist would have, and it wasn't just going to be a universal trait of the game. Honestly, I would prefer that, because right now I feel that you can't go on any major flanks in 2042. As soon as you fire your weapon, you know you're on the minimap. It's really hard to take a bunch of enemies by surprise. Now honestly, it's kind of a sad situation that most of the Battlefield news these days is coming from data mining performed by one single man. And believe me, if I had some other news to bring you guys, I would, but if you guys have seen the Battlefield Twitter account, it is just completely empty at the moment. They aren't really saying a whole lot. I understand that the patch isn't ready, and that's the reason they're not discussing the date when it's going to be released. They don't want to give people false expectations about the release date, about exactly what's going to be in the patch, and instead prefer to wait until they are 100% certain and they can give us a full set of patch notes and tell us exactly when it's going to be released. But communication doesn't necessarily have to just be, hey guys, this is when some new content is coming for the game, even though that's the thing most people are interested in. Like, whatever happened to the Battlefield briefings? You guys remember that? Shortly after they announced the game and they started building the hype train, they had this Battlefield briefing with Daniel Berlin and Oscar Gabrielson, the game director, and there they went over a lot of things in the game, and they sort of hinted that this was like going to be the first of many of these types of videos, these briefings. Maybe in the future they will be including all different kinds of developers and going through the game. What happened to that? Why was that scrapped? Why are we not getting any information, like, I don't know, just community interaction, maybe community videos, maybe because somebody could just go around DICE and, you know, take a video of the offices, take a video of like, hey, here's somebody working on, you know, one of the map remakes, and show us a little bit of what's going on. You know, the content doesn't necessarily have to always be for the game. Sometimes it's just encouraging to see a little bit behind the scenes, for example. I feel like that's something that DICE have sometimes done, and for Battlefield 2042, that sort of stuff has been at an all-time low. Part of me thinks it's maybe the community's quote-unquote toxic behaviour that has discouraged the Battlefield Twitter account and other sources from interacting with the community. For sure, if they post anything and it's not something positive for the game, some new addition to the game, content for the game, there will always be that bunch of people who will jump straight on that tweet or that video or whatever it is, downvote the crap out of it, and just say, shut the hell up, DICE, and give us content. You ruined the game, blah blah blah. You know, they're just going to sort of spew out their hate and whatnot. And, you know, I understand that people are angry, they definitely have the right to be. But I think that DICE just completely zipping it and stopping all communication isn't really the best way to tackle this. That is going to do it though for today, guys. As always, let me know what you think down below. Have a good one, guys, and I'll see you all in the next video.